BuzzChat. BuzzChat.
Yeah. Welcome in. Hi. Hi. We're just going to let the room warm up a little bit, guys.
What's up, party people? We got a good one lined up today. Glad you tuned in.
Hi, Bougie B.
Bougie B, what's up?
How are you? The B family in the house.
All right, what we got here? We're on a giveaway?
Yeah, just let it warm up for a bit before you do anything.
Guys, we have a storage unit update.
Guru
We got a lot of updates. So.
Guru garbage. How am I feeling?
It's the guru of garbage.
I think I said guru garbage.
I know. Don't worry. I got you.
I'm no pain. No pain. So I'm doing the best I can, watching what I eat. I thought I had some pains this morning, but I'm like, I think it's PTSD. Is it happening? Is it not happening? So I didn't take a pain pill. It stopped. I actually fell back asleep and it stopped. So
no pain, no gain.
Just working through it, man. Just working through it.
Appreciate you asking.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, guys. So
don't tell Inga I'm cheap. Ooh, Philly.
Is Philly in here?
Yeah, he said don't tell Inga.
What's up, my man?
All
right, so check it out, guys. We have an update. We have a couple things. We're switching up the format just a little bit. Remember last week, Buy Movie Stuff was our spotlight sale of the week. So if you guys are joining us for the first time, I feel like this is too close.
Baby, fix it. Now's your moment.
All right.
Thrifty Amigos. Did you get my message about contacting Bill?
Hey, Thrifty Amigos, your shit's being resold right now. Just so you know.
Bill's going to put it back into the circulation. No, just kidding.
No, I'm not
Just
kidding.
Give him a call. We'll meet up with you.
All right, guys, if you remember...
Or you can come here. You can come here if you want to.
So last week, guys, we decided that if you were the spotlight seller of the week and you won, we're going to let you... we were going to invite you for a quick 5-minute session to tell people who you are. So Buy Movie Stuff won last week, so she's going to be on here in what, like
5:35.
5:35. So we got to get busy with our weekly.
Strict 5 minutes, and then that'll be 5:40, and then we got 10 minutes after. That's right.
5:45 or 5:50.
5:35 to 5:40.
When does Limitless come in?
Limitless is coming in at 5:50.
Okay, all right, guys. We still gotta get busy. Last week we ran out of time. We had a bunch of stuff to talk about. All right, let's see. Hey,
welcome in, everyone.
Is there any mods? Thank you, Philly. That's exactly what I was about to say.
Right.
You beat me to it. Unfollow everybody except us. I'm just kidding.
No, wait. I want everyone to look at Whistling Duck's profile picture.
Guys, that's a 101. Car Chick, what's up?
That's a 101. That's a 101. Guys,
while we're looking at, let me say hi to everyone.
So funny.
Thrifty Amigos, Guru of Garbage, Lady Vantage, Tucker's Treasures, our Pete, you know. Love you guys. Car Chick, Thrifty Amigos already said that. Sweet Deal, Alabama, not to be confused with Sweet Home, Alabama. Okay, so we have Buy Movie Stuff coming on in 5 minutes. Guys, we got a lot of updates. Okay,
and guys, bear with us if we're out of sorts.
She's out of sorts. I'm never out of sorts.
You're out of sorts because I was out of sorts. Yes, you are. Stop lying. We're kind of out of sorts.
I'm good. She's not.
But we're gonna keep trucking. We're gonna keep trucking. So welcome in.
I was in the hot storage unit for the last 2 days, so I might be out of sorts.
Guys, if this is your first time entering our room, we are B Squared Trading Post. My name is Nita. This is Bill. We do this podcast. We call it BuzzChat, and we do it every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. What is it? Rain
or shine?
Rain or shine? I thought it was something else. I thought it was a third option.
You got to pin the go live.
You know, that's right. See, thank you. Yep.
She's out of sorts.
Yeah,
I'm out of sorts. So news and notes, guys.
When I do that, tell them what to do. I'm doing it right about. Wait, can I not pin from there? Can't do it from there. All right. So while she's out of sorts, so we're getting close to 15,000 followers. I'm unsure what we're going to do when we hit 15,000 followers. It seems like such a small number, right? Because everybody is like at 100,000. Everybody's at 100,000 followers. We're only at 15. How'd that happen? Guys, can somebody in the chat let us borrow like 5,000 followers? I can't think about that right now. I need to, yes. Guys, look.
This was the silent small Yoo-hoo protest.
Thank everyone for their.
Do my business while you figure out how to pin something.
I just think.
Guys, she don't even know how to pin something. She's trying to tell me how to run my silent protest. Okay,
so guys, do you see it? 867-530, but there's not a 9.
9.
Right there. Bookmark and save us if you want to get a notification.
Guys,
pin that item.
Look,
we'll learn to pin that item. The protest is over, thanks to you guys.
The silent protest is over. Guys, full-size Yoo-hoos.
Man Yoo-hoo.
Who's in the chat likes
Bill
Yoo-hoos?
You know what we should have done?
Guys, who in the chat likes Yoo-hoos?
No, we should have done? We should have done this.
No, we're not going to do anything. We need to find out who likes Yoo-hoos.
Man.
Who Carchick says yes to Yoo-hoo. She gave the fire emoji.
Man Yoo-hoo.
Guys, it's ice cold.
Got it.
Guys, it's ice cold. Not out of a can. What do you mean?
They're the biggest ones. That's where you get the most.
Diddy says Yoo-hoo are good. Yoo-hoos are good. Philly says I liked them in the 5th grade, so that was last year. Elite Tiger says yes. Carchick says add bourbon.
I could
Philly, that was last year. Don't lie.
I could do a poll, right?
No, I like doing it this way.
Of course.
All right, so Crafty Fairies, what's up? All right, so everyone says yes to Yoo-hoos. All right, so guys, through hard work in the chat and dedication to the channel and some coercing by us, we were able to buy 3 Yoo-hoos. And William and Nita drank the other 2. So this is the last remaining Yoo-hoo. It's ice cold.
You gotta show them. It says man Yoo-hoo.
No, they don't need to know that. They just
do need to know that.
Cold. Guys, look.
Oh, it's gonna blow up now. It's gonna blow up now. He's crazy.
But look. You got to do it this way, guys.
Don't get you on my stuff.
Look.
I don't like that noise.
You got to let it out a little bit.
That's kind of a disturbing noise.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie.
All right. So thank you, guys. Appreciate you. So, guys, getting close to 15,000 followers. Who knows what we're going to do when we get there. It'll probably do something crazy. So shout out while we're waiting for Limitless. Well, first of all, we're waiting for Buy Movie Stuff. But while we're waiting for Limitless, shout out to Limitless and Philly Flipper for the fundraiser for Orlando Auction Hunter. That was, I think it worked out really well.
That was fun, and we did really good.
Yeah, we did really good. We're going to let Limitless tell us about that. But shout out to you guys and everyone involved for putting that together. And don't forget to check out our weekly seller help. It's something that needed.
Oh, good.
Fuck, bro. It's something that Nita does. Check out the weekly seller help. You guys know
over 10K we raised, over 10,000.
Oh, nice. That's what I'm talking
over 10,000.
See, and then Philly. Didn't I say Limitless was going to do that? Damn it, dude. Fucking Philly Flipper.
Bro.
I forgot what I was saying. You
were thinking him.
Guys, this week, Nita had to go to the hospital for gallstones.
Yeah, some of you guys were in the seller help.
So if you guys were in the seller help, it was
not fun.
Not fun. If you ever had gallstones, I haven't. Not fun. She is doing better now with the help of Percocets and other medication that they give us.
I haven't even taken I took a half.
Well, I've been taking the Percocet. I'm on a Percocet right now.
You better not be.
Guys, I think the last time I took a Percocet was
a root canal or something.
Yeah, it's like 25 years ago. I have a high pain tolerance, so.
Oh, there she is. There's my movie stuff.
So, guys.
Run the Percocet. She should have known.
I should have known. That's our chance.
All right, let's get her in. It's 5:36. So, where's she at? Buy Movie Stuff. We're going to let her in. She's going to promote who she is. Guys, please give her a follow.
Guys,
she's going to tell you what she's got going on. She's got 5 minutes to do it. And invite co-host.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We should do like Philly. Once it's over, we just cut you without even saying anything.
She there? She's at work. I think she's sitting in a closet, guys, to talk to us.
Are you at work right now?
I am at work right now.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Well, this is your 5 minutes of fame. Thank you so much. You know we love you. We've watched your channel since day one. And you always have the coolest stuff. And you and Carchick are like Thelma and Louise minus the, over the edge, over the cliff ending. So tell us who you are, what you do, and talk to us a little bit about your channel.
She does. She has a super cute logo.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Thelma and Louise, I hope not like the ending, but who knows?
Without the ending. Without the ending, yes.
Right. Well, wow, that's like, yes, quick, 5 minutes to talk about myself. Well, really, to talk about the fact that I started out as a buyer, of course, like I laughed because, yes, we laughed about that, Nita, when you said that last week about you should really start out as a buyer before you're a seller. But I think that's how we all become sellers because we were buyers, right?
Yep.
So I definitely have a lot of stuff, which actually, though, I've always been like a fun, smart sourcer. I love to shop for deals. I've done that for many years for other people, actually. And so it's nice that I'm trying to not just purchase like mainstream things. I'm trying to look for special stuff that is related to what I do have, and which is a lot of entertainment related items, collectibles, things like that, because I worked in the studios for a while in Walt Disney Studios, CBS television, and acquired cool stuff along the way. And I've
Very
stored
cool
them in
Amazing
Very
stuff that
cool
we
stuff.
got. Yeah.
Yes, which I can say that, super, I'm feeling super honored, very like super sentimental, emotional because yes, you were my first buyers. And I remember even just how crazy nervous I was in the beginning. That's really funny. That
I
I
just
just like
want to
one.
give you congratulations.
Woo!
Yeah.
There's something to this thing, I'm telling you.
Awesome.
So yeah, and I started out and I tell people it's just funny. I worked in the movie business behind the scenes. Okay, I never was on camera. I interviewed celebrities, but I was always behind. And in fact, even when I had to be in the editing room, I always told them turn off my voice. I can't listen to that. I don't really want to hear myself. So I don't like to look at myself or hear myself, and I was
Yeah.
never in front of the camera. So now the crazy part is, and I said I wasn't going to do that in the beginning either. I'm like, but I find that, and I've learned from others by watching others, that being in front of the camera, you are engaging and people feel more connected. And I'm still learning and how people want to just buy, a bag of nothing from me, like they can from like Philly Flipper and other people like you guys. So,
No one buys from Philly Flipper. Philly Flipper pays his people to buy stuff. So don't be fooled by that. Do not be fooled.
I bought a black light today from Philly Flipper. He's like, "Why did you buy that?" I'm like, "Because we could put it on our keychain."
She's like, it's Philly. I'm like, screw
It's
Philly.
Philly.
Screw Philly.
exactly.
No, we love
Exactly.
No, just kidding.
And also, very serious about our packing and how we pack stuff, because, and I love that you have that segment. That was very exciting. My sister, who is also my mod and does all my shipping, she was very proud that,
Let's go, sis.
Yes,
Congratulations.
exactly.
We have received multiple packages from you in the past.
Yes.
But sometimes it's easy competition, sometimes it's tough competition. Right. This time you took the crown, so we're happy to have you on. And
guys, if you
I
are not following and
guys,
bookmarking, I want to say buy movie stuff. I think I got the I from I Love Discounts, and I always call you I Buy Movie Stuff, but it is buy movie stuff. So make sure you please give her a follow, bookmark her shows. Do you have any special events coming up or anything soon?
Yes. My first, and with Karchik, our first raid train that we are hosting tomorrow.
Let's go.
12 o'clock.
Bookmarking, guys. Get on there and book. She's got some fire stuff. You're not going to want to miss it.
Guys, we've got the most unique items, like from your time. And I don't know if you tell the story as much now as you used to when you started, but when we first started listening to you, you would tell stories about how you acquired stuff and how you kind of socked away stuff, and stuff that we bought from you is literally one of a kind. It's literally one of a kind.
It's awesome.
Right. I mean, I don't like to say that because there were probably more than one, so I don't want to be a liar.
They're definitely not floating around the wild.
Yeah.
I do try to say that, and I'm trying to be very, I'm not selling you like it's the last one I have, and then I show another one.
It's not a one-on-one.
Yeah. But very rare and not easy to find. And
not just
all
anyone
your stuff that we've gotten from you, not only is it rare and not easy to find, 99.9% of it hasn't been in absolute mint condition.
Perfect.
Like you put it away, or like you just pulled it off the shelf, which is obviously a beautiful thing. So
yeah. I tried to keep them in proper packaging and away from humidity.
You do a very good job, which is why you won. It's why you won. So guys, please, please give that's tomorrow? No, that's not tomorrow. What I do here.
Tomorrow at
not there either.
I thought it was 12 o'clock.
There she is. For you Eastern people. For you Eastern time.
For Eastern people, who's probably on right now, tomorrow at noon, she's doing her first raid train. They're going to run their first raid train. So
that's going to be fun.
Lights, camera, action. Make sure you give her a bookmark. You're doing really well. You got 96 bookmarks on it now, so that's awesome.
Yeah, guys. So
really
five-star rating, over 1,000 sold, just under 3,000 followers, less than 1 day shipping time. Shout out to you and sis.
That's why she's
everything,
here, guys.
Everything comes amazing as always. Never a question. So in addition to your raid train, so real quick, because we love Car Chick, right?
Yes.
Everyone loves Car Chick. Tell us real quick. Tell the audience about your relationship with Car Chick.
Yes. Well, Car Chick actually, I met her because when I worked at Disney, we had a program where they were, she was doing a class and she was teaching women to learn about cars. And I went, at Disney, when you work at Disney, you join a lot of groups and you go to a lot of volunteers and a lot of things. So I said, yeah, let's go. Because I actually was interested and my friend and I went. And that's how we met Car Chick. And actually, she became my my mechanic for many years, my family, my friends, and everything. And along the way, I also found out that she was connected in the entertainment industry, and we actually connected and did some things. And then we became like family, really, and we live very close to each other. So, and then she said to me, "You really need to check out this Whatnot." And I was like, you always like show me things, and I'm thinking it's not really for me. So, but it's amazing how we've come together and we're now really sort of partnering because we're doing a lot of the same stuff. So trying to bring
great. You guys are doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
I remember in the beginning when Car Chick would be in your shows and you guys were kind of getting your channel up and running. It was just a great collaboration, I thought. She's an amazing contributor to the community. You're an amazing contributor to the community, and thick as thieves. So that's super cool. Shout out to Car Chick.
But thank you so much for coming on.
Yes.
I gotta make sure Bill sticks to our timeline.
I won't, because I'll talk to you.
Because he won't. He'll keep going.
We love you. We love you, by
We love you. Thank you.
Guys, make sure you give her a follow.
And we're gonna have you on here for the full podcast very soon.
Guys, make sure you give her a follow. If you're looking for super cool stuff, super fun channel, super genuine people, this is your lady right here. So
you guys so much.
We love you. Now, don't get in trouble at work.
No, I can't.
No, I told them I got to go do my little show, and you guys don't bother me.
Yeah, get out of the closet. We'll talk to you later.
We love you.
Love you.
Bye, you guys.
Nice closet. It has lights and
where is it at?
All right, so
there we go.
Guys, buy movie stuff. I'm telling you, if you haven't been on one of her channels, she pulls out the craziest Disney stuff. Well, it's more than Disney stuff, but most of it is.
Most of it is movie stuff.
Movie stuff, yeah.
She worked in production.
Guys, I'm telling you, we had the craziest stuff.
You really need to give her a follow.
Craziest stuff, and we have been in her channel since the very first night she ran. So, all right, what else we got?
All right, so real quick before Limitless gets in here, is there anything that we want to tell that we have going on?
Billy just gave us an offer to come to Rhode Island.
But now he tells us. You
mean like we would have done it?
You should hear all the stuff that he's doing. He has a clam bake, like 4th of July is like mega.
Bro, so you tell us on the 3rd of July? Great job, Billy. Great freaking job. Give us, a little heads up next time, bro. Little heads up next time would be great.
Maryland's not that far
I love discounts. Right? Oh, so real quick, guys, Maryland, speaking of which, I think I Love Discounts is going to be there. There's a whole bunch of people that are going to be there. Did we get an official invite, or what's the deal with the panel?
Yeah.
So, guys, we are...
Well, I gave them 100% today. I said,
guys, we're going to be on the panel for the Q&A with Corey. I'm not sure who else is going to be on the panel, but Corey graciously invited us to be on the panel, which
it's seller
Q&A. So we're excited about that. Maryland's going to be off the chain, mostly because we're going to be there, but not because I Love Discounts is going to be there, because they might not show up now that we're there. So they can stay home and play green beans. That's what they like to do anyhow. So, all right. What else we got? So 5:46. We got 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, you probably know this. Super excited. Our first grandbaby's on the way, due on the 13th, plus or minus a couple days. So the next couple of weeks is going to be a little crazy. We have some shows lined up. We have our podcast lined up. But guys,
we're probably going to be running from Vegas.
Who the hell knows what's going on? But we're going to be all over the place. So bear with us.
We'll probably be there in Vegas on the 20th. And the 20th, you'll see. Please bookmark our shows, guys, and please go ahead and bookmark this item that I had pinned. You'll get notifications from us when we do go live, because it may end up being some pop-ups and stuff in between.
Yeah.
But go ahead and please bookmark the July 20th show, because we're probably going to do that from Vegas. We're going to source in Vegas and we're going to sell from Vegas. It's the $500. It's the early bird pickers $500 garage sale challenge. We're going to do it in Vegas.
Philly said RTS grandkid.
No way. Over my dead body. That you can't.
Philly, you're going down a road you might not want to go down right now, brother. So everything else is on limits. That's all.
No, we can't wait though. We cannot wait. I'll probably go live from the hospital and let you guys
probably will.
Peek real quick. I'll let you peek.
So, guys, so we had a storage unit this week, and it was actually a pretty good one, right?
It was great. Yeah.
Can you believe I got her to the storage unit
after the day I got out of the hospital?
Yeah.
I was like,
crazy.
He's like, I got this. He got this, and it was actually it was like a double for $600. And he was a music engineer from the 60s and 70s, guys. The
craziest
amazing
equipment, all like band equipment, high-end Yamaha and all kinds of craziness.
And we did find gold and money almost for the first time.
Yeah, I think we're at
a good significant amount of gold and money.
We're probably about almost at an ounce of gold, guys.
Yeah.
So that was
found
pretty
in there.
cool.
So that was awesome.
And we found in a safe, strangest thing, the safe was open. Looks I hate to say it, either the facility got into it, even though it was in a filing cabinet in the back of the unit, or the person that owned it broke into it. But it had, 25 Blue Note silver certificates?
Yes. No, 30.
30 Blue Note silver certificates, dollar bills, 30. And some gold coins.
Oh, Philly said he's going to be on the panel too.
Oh, shit.
We'll be seeing you there. We're going to hang.
Right, okay,
we're going to hang, man.
They're inviting anyone at this point. They're inviting anyone at this point.
What else did I see here? Billy. He just wanted to come in and wish everybody a happy 4th because he's going to be busy because they go off the chain for 4th of July where he lives.
Yeah, thanks for the 12th.
I told him.
Thanks for the 11th hour invite, Billy.
He kept telling me stuff, right? He kept telling me stuff to do. And I'm like, okay, enough already. Now you're starting to sound like a rom-com that I see on TV.
Bragger.
You know, have the little towns where they have like the big 4th of July parades and stuff.
Shout out to all those that contributed to the Bill Yoo-Hoo Fund. So, delicious, I must say. All right. So, what else we got? So anyhow, great storage unit this week was not a manager special. The last 2 that we got were a manager special. We probably have 30 Blue Note silver certificates. We probably had another $50 or $60 in gold $1 coins, not gold coins, but gold $1 coins, and about an ounce of gold, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. So it was actually a pretty good unit, and you'll be seeing some of that stuff. We also got a unit with a bunch of vintage toys, and you're going to be seeing that stuff hopefully over the next couple of days. So but that's about. Guys, this week on Whatnot for Resellers. You love doing that.
I thought I had it down. I understand.
Every single. There you go. Turn right back up.
I did. I hit the wrong button.
Guys, not good with technology. This week on Whatnot for Resellers. I don't have anything, guys. They're calm this week on Whatnot for Resellers. Nothing vitriol, no vileness. But I might have missed something because it's been a little bit of a tough week. So if you guys know anything, certainly. Are we ready?
No, we don't have anything else that we want to tell everybody. She'll be here when she gets here.
Oh, okay.
What
She'll be here when she gets here?
And there she is.
She'll be here when she gets here?
And there she is. Can you do that? Because I have to step over this cord.
Is that tough, right? Stepping over the whole cord? Limitless. Guys, you better be ready. Listen, I'm just telling you right now.
Welcoming in the beast.
You better
the beast is entering the chat, y'all. The beast is entering the chat.
I don't know I don't know that that's a good thing to say.
No, she is a freaking beast. She knows. She knows she is. She knows what she did. She knows what she did.
She knows what she did.
Where you at? What happened? Did you?
The heck was?
Did you hit it?
Philly.
There she is. Oh, you gotta swipe away. So
is there anything else you'd like me to do?
Hi.
Hey y'all. Let me swipe the chat aside. You know
that's what I'm gonna do.
There we go.
Hey y'all.
Hi.
Is that how I sound? That's how I sound, Bill?
No, that's just how I sound.
Oh, okay.
What's up, young lady?
Welcome in.
Oh, this is different. I was telling the people that I've never been interviewed before like this. So I don't know what to think.
We're just chatting, girl. We're just chatting.
We'll take it easy, or we might not take it easy. I have some crazy questions lined up for you.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, you might not be prepared for what I have in store. So.
Oh,
but everyone, if you do not know who this is Limitless Storage Finds. Actually, you do. Your actual name is Limitless X StorageFinds.
Yes.
LimitlessStorageFinds. Okay. I never realized that X was there until just now.
I don't pay attention to
Did
that.
not realize that.
No one pays attention to
We
extra.
literally have the same amount of followers. We have the same amount of followers. She sold 16.4 thousand items and she's got her wings. Congratulations on your wings.
Congratulations.
5-star rating, guys. If you are not following her, you need to do so.
Hold on a second. I'm reading the review here.
Oh gosh.
Didn't receive my items on time. Please do better next time.
What?
Items were broken or mishandled. Please talk to the shipper.
Oh my gosh.
Did not like your stream. You streamed for too long. Please cut it down. You might need to do something about these reviews.
Oh,
yeah,
what can I say?
Step up your game, man.
I know, we gotta talk to HR.
The first three were not good. No, guys, all amazing reviews. Everything was perfect.
She's the best. She's the best.
Everything was perfect. Thank you for the amazing things. Thank you. High quality. Love everything. Great buy. Excellent seller. The whole 9 yards. So
you rock, girl.
You are amazing.
You rock.
And you were nice enough to jump on a phone call with us because just like we talk about on this podcast, this is the idea of having sellers like yourself who are just knocking the cover off the ball is we want to learn as much as hopefully the audience wants to learn. Tips and tricks, different things that are successful for you, things to look out for, you know, your journey. And you were nice enough to jump on the phone with us and give us some tips on some specific things that you do on ray trains, because aside from your regular shows, your ray trains are just freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Like you literally go crazy on your ray train. So, but that's a little bit further down. So just talk to us a little bit about what you do, who you are. Talk to us about your background. So the mic is yours. Now you have a chance.
Wait, 1 second before we do that. Guys, if you're just entering the room, I just want to say this. So it looks like we've got about 36 people in here because there are people like Billy that are doing 4th of July stuff and all that.
And there's a ton of shows going on right now.
So there's a ton of shows going on right now. So if you missed it and you can rewatch this on YouTube. We do have a YouTube channel where we multicast every single one of our podcasts. And it's actually B² BuzzChat. It's actually, did I put it here?
Okay.
No, I did not. I didn't change it yet.
Guys, she's
B² BuzzChat.
She's killing
I had to change it, and we can get into the reasons later. But if you guys missed this, you can also rewatch us on YouTube. Yeah, okay, I'm done. I just wanted to say that to make sure they can catch you. On YouTube. Because they're going to be missing it if they miss you. So.
Okay, I'm good now.
So that being said, she had to cut us off. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, so, oh gosh, I'm never good about talking about myself. I like to talk about everything but myself. But, okay, so currently I live in Louisiana. I'm a transplant from the Northeast. Before Louisiana, I lived in Mississippi. I've just kind of been all over, and now I'm traveling. So I'm mobile all over. So let's see. I got into reselling when I was like 15, 16 years old, believe it or not, which is crazy. I'm 32 now. So this was like, you got to think way back before like the whole like YouTube hype and all that, where everybody wanted to be a reseller.
Did you say way back?
It's way back for me.
Way back is beepers and no internet for us.
I remember my parents having a beeper.
Great. Make us feel even older.
And they had like, look, they had like the cell phone in the car. Like I remember my dad had one of those. Like the landline. Yeah. So, okay, so I grew up in a family where my mom was like the primary breadwinner, right? So I love all my family members, but my mom, because of different situations, she felt the need to work like 2.5 jobs most of my life. And I watched this and I always wanted to do something to help, which is probably why I am the way I am now, where I kind of try to overcompensate and overdo and try to be everything to everyone. And it's just not possible. But maybe one day I'll learn. So I watched this and I'm like, man, I got to find a way to help bring some income into the family. But I was too young to get a job. So ironically, I was so embarrassed. My mom would take me to like Goodwill and stuff to get my school clothes because we were broke.
We grew up the same way.
And I got picked on a lot. Like I remember this guy named John from school. He saw me in Goodwill. He was like, I'm going to tell everybody you got your stuff from Goodwill and you're wearing orphanage clothes. And I'm like, dude, get out of here. Like he was such a jerk. And I didn't even want to be there.
We all were dealing with that with people.
I didn't want to be there, but I was stuck there anyways. So while I was stuck there, I figured, well, I might as well try to find something, right? Yep. So I start digging in like the different racks, and at the time I'm finding like brand new at Tags Aeropostale and American Eagle and Abercrombie, and I was like, wow, you know, these things are like, I think it was like $2 or something at the time, maybe less. So I was like, wow, this is stuff that's really expensive. Maybe I'll get my parents to buy me this at Goodwill so I can stop getting rocks thrown at me. And being told that I'm just like the poor kid in the area that we lived, because that's what it was like. And so like I started like identifying these different things that were expensive that I could find at the thrift stores. And next thing you know, I decided to like sit with my grandmother, who was doing eBay at the time. And she was bidding on like, I can't remember what it was specifically, but I was watching these auctions and I'm like, wow, they're paying a lot of money for that. I wonder if they would pay a lot of money for the things that I'm finding. And that's how it just kind of came together. So it's like,
that's crazy.
That's awesome.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
And then I started getting out of the box because I was still broke. I was making a little bit of change. I was trying to help my family out. So then I started looking on Craigslist at curb alerts. So then I was finding stuff on the side of the road, which that was crazy too. I was like, you know what? All these rich neighborhoods I'm going to after the garage sales, and I'm picking up their trash because it's treasure to me. And that's how I kind of built my business a little at a time. So when I have on my profile that says I've been reselling for 10 plus years, it's the truth.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It's funny because especially I think that when you grew up, when you're not well off, right? The way we grew up, we were not. I mean, we were just.
You mean poor?
We were really poor. Okay. Like we were just straight up poor.
Yeah. Not well off.
Not well off. We were not
well
off.
Poor. Sounds like you're doing okay.
Yeah.
That's
like,
different.
If you don't know what government cheese is, then you've never been poor. We know what government cheese is.
Me too.
We've done that line before. Yeah. But I think what it is I think that it develops, for the most part, it develops stronger kids come out of that because we're so resilient because of that. And that's why we do the things that we do, because we're survivors.
You're resilient because you realize that you can't make grilled cheese out of government cheese.
Because it doesn't melt.
Right. So that's a game changer for those of us who like grilled cheese. So
right. If anyone's been on government cheese, you'll know what we're talking about.
You're not making a quality grilled cheese out of government cheese.
No, Monica says she can't stand looking at the giant canned ham.
But
exactly.
But so whenever someone comes on the show,
that's right, baby girl stuff.
We always talk about their backdrop and how you got to where you're at. And that story is just as interesting as any other story, right? Which is, it came from necessity, which, some people do it because it's fun. Some people do it because it's necessary, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in between. So you went from being bullied at school, right?
Yeah.
To flipping stuff at Goodwill, hanging out with grandma who's buying and selling on eBay. That's a whole nother chapter.
Right.
And that's how you started and in curb alerts, and that's how you started your reselling career, so to speak. So that's actually kind of that's great. Shout out to you. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. So because everyone arrives at this point somehow, and again, that story is just as interesting. So you're doing all this stuff. You're flipping Goodwill stuff to other kids at school. You're pulling people's stuff off the side of the road, reselling it. And then, did you ever get into eBay yourself? Or
yes. So when I got old enough, I was bringing stuff to my grandma to put on eBay for me until I got old enough. Well, then when I got old enough, I was really big into country music at the time, and I was such in the hustle mode. I think my screen name on eBay was like Trying to Make a Living or something. Like that song, Where I Come From. It's cornbread and chicken. You know that one? Yeah. So awesome. I was doing eBay a lot, and I was doing the penny auctions just because I got on this high to it became a challenge to see what I could find, and how it was a running joke in the family, well, how much is Nicole gonna make on this BB silk beaded top today? It's and then next thing you know, my family members are like, let me go in my closet and see what I can find.
Exactly. That's how it always happens. Oh, you're making money? I got something for you to
sell. So in other words, your career started with juicy shorts on the butt.
Right.
Whereas
I've sold
ours
a
were back in
lot
the
of.
day with Z Cavarici. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So how long did you sell on eBay for?
Like 10 years. I just
Okay.
I almost never put anything on eBay anymore because we have this,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's really no need for it. Like over 10 years on eBay. And then Poshmark, what, 7-8 years?
All right, so you got plenty of background selling on other platforms, and so obviously Whatnot was an easier transition for you than it was for some. So
It was different because like here we have this, the whole communication thing, and like growing up, like not super popular or anything, like I was like super socially awkward, and like it took me 3 months to work up the nerve to do my first show.
It did us too.
Yeah.
We rescheduled our first show
probably 20 times.
for when the freaking stars aligned perfectly. Yeah. Like we were the same way. We were the same way, and then when we finally did it, and our first show, Bill was sweating his ass off.
Shit, dude, it was like,
I'm like, oh my god.
And the air conditioner was at like 68 degrees. Dude,
oh
I'm
my
sweating freaking bullets. I had no idea what was going on. It was super fun though.
But it was because of the community. You talk about the community. Yeah. We were brand new. People were popping in. I didn't know how to run a Givey, and I'm like, how do I do this? I wanted to do a buyer's Givey. They're like, no, you can't. You got to do okay. Well, or no, maybe it wasn't even that yet. Yeah. I just wanted to do a Givey.
We're just trying to figure out.
People were telling us how to do that. They were telling us how to do flat rate. All of that in our show, and we made like $1,200 our first show.
Our first show.
Wow.
And we had like 28 people in our first show.
But we have a background on eBay, so we had a ton of really good stuff.
Yeah,
it was just a matter of making the transition. Yeah. But before we go too much further, I want to give you a shout out. We talked about it in the top of the show for last week, the fundraiser that you and Philly put together. Tell us a little bit about that. You said something a second ago, and we understand that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in the chat that understand that, is depending on how you grow up and what influence your parents or other family members had, that impacts what you do later in life, like doing, whether giving stuff away, whether you do volunteer work. So you had a fundraiser last week for Orlando storage auctions, right?
Which is very successful.
So talk to us about that.
The final numbers. So how did that come about, and tell us how successful we were doing that?
Altogether, we raised over $10,000 as a team.
That's amazing. Shout out to you and Philly and everyone else that was part of that.
Yeah, it was a huge turnout. I was really, really like heartwarmed to see everybody come together for this cause. I felt it was very worthy. I mean, because the dude almost lost his life.
Yeah, he did.
And he really did. Think, like, he's a father. This is his only form of income. So it's like, I was thinking to myself, like, what would I do if something happened to me? Because now I don't work in the, a normal 9 to 5 anymore,
There's no workman's comp. There's nothing like that.
Exactly. And, I've communicated with him for over a year now, and I've seen him, how he is with the community, with his family, with everybody in general. And you can just tell, like, I don't know if it's just me because I'm like an empath kind of, but like you can see someone's aura in a way. It's like, it's like, I know that if I extend that olive branch to you, you would have done it for somebody else many times over.
Right.
And I just felt very moved to do something, and I knew that there's no, like, I don't have $10,000 that I can give myself, but I do have a little bit of influence, and I know a lot of people that have a great deal of influence, and that by partnering with Philly Flipper, I was like, please, I'm begging you, please help, because 10, 12 people is way better than 1 or 2. The result is going to be much greater. So I just wanted to help in any way possible. I didn't know exactly how much we would get, but I knew it'd be easier for him to focus on healing if he had some type of backing to where he doesn't have to worry about paying rent.
Right, at least have his rent taken care of, or his mortgage for a couple months.
Yeah.
Paid for. I think that's it. I think it was huge. I think we did a good job. You guys did a good job. But I think all of us together collectively, we came together once again and helped one of our own. And I think that's why I love this community so much. It makes me love Whatnot more.
Me too.
To me, that drowns out all, because we got some drama and bullshit going on. But the good stuff that we do completely overpowers all that bullshit.
Right.
To me, you are to be commended, because it takes a lot. First of all, it takes a lot to want to help, right? A lot of people say they want to do stuff, but they never do it for whatever the reason.
Right.
Doesn't make it bad. It doesn't make it good. It's just what it is.
Right.
And then the impact is successful. The impact in the community for him and his family, but also it sets the tone for other individuals in the community to recognize that we're on this channel to sell stuff and make money, but it's much bigger than that as well.
Absolutely.
So not only that, I think another thing too that was really cool to see is that it wasn't just us sellers doing it. It was these buyers getting in
yes.
and tipping us because we were given 100% of tips. I mean, the majority of that came from that. And that says a lot. That says a lot about the community. Shout out to anybody in the chat. If you're in the chat and you
guys, we love you.
Yeah, I mean, that was huge. That was huge. So it really wasn't even just the sellers coming together.
Yeah.
You brought the sellers and all the buyers together too to really help him. I think it was amazing.
Right. Yeah, it was very heartwarming, and like I had to step away a couple of times. I was like, this is so like it was just a lot. It was beautiful to see, and I was so proud of everybody, buyers and sellers that were involved, and even just by sharing or pounding hearts, it's not always financial. It's just, hey,
support.
Prayers to him and his family, or, just being supportive by showing up,
Yep.
Yeah, I will tell you
not everybody cares, it's so heartwarming to see that many people actually care.
That's right.
Yeah, it is. Again, it's a different side of the platform that I think more people need to see, because we get mired in the day-to-day. I'm sure it happens with you and sellers and buyers where it's, this is a hard business to do on this platform. So to have that, that different perspective is amazing. And the impact, needless to say, is I'm sure he is more than grateful. If you saw those pictures from the accident, the scene of the accident,
it looked like a murder scene.
That
lost
was
so much blood.
It
really did.
We come from the insurance business, so that is, I think we're all grateful that he survived that.
Yeah.
Like, that is not one of those things where, hey, I fell down and broke my arm and I'm out of work. Like,
no, that was serious. That was a serious situation.
It is shocking that he survived that.
And the way he said that his neighbor actually probably saved his life because she's an army, and she ran over and put a tourniquet on him, and that's why I told Bill, I was like, man, we need to find some tourniquets and put it in our buy now. Everyone should own one. Put it in their car. Yes, everyone should own a tourniquet.
It's actually no joke, right? Because you do storage units. I was in a storage unit this week, and there was a picture. I happened to have some heavy-duty gloves on, and the picture shattered. And small picture, and it cut the first layer of my gloves. And I literally thought about that.
Yeah.
Because I've been in storage units where I've seen things like, holy shit, that could have been bad.
Right.
Like people that are hoarding units where there's glass tables and stuff like that.
Laying on top of other shit.
Yeah, you just are
about to avalanche down.
There's more danger than most people think. So
it is a dangerous job. For sure.
Especially you're rooting around in storage units, you don't know what's in there. So so shout out to you, shout out to everyone, Philly Flipper, the whole 9 yards. So you said something a second ago, which is on our list, is you recently transitioned from corporate America to full-time crazy reseller, right?
Mm-hmm.
Notice how I said full-time crazy reseller, because only crazy people go away from a cushy, or not necessarily a cushy, but a steady 9 to 5 to the uncertainty of full-time reseller.
What was it like? What was it like to take that final leap?
I was scared at first because, and I've been working with myself with it, through different methods. Like I don't always have like the most confidence in myself. So like there has to be like no shadow of the doubt type of proof to believe in myself. You know what I mean? And it's like, I know people tell me stuff all the time, like, oh my God, that's so amazing. This is great. That is great. You're doing such a great job. And it's like, on surface level, I believe it, but it's like my inside, it's like, it doesn't feel like it's anything crazy. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm anybody special. That's why I was so like moved that someone would want to talk to me about my background, because I don't feel like I just think I'm just some regular chick,
No, you sell yourself short. You sell yourself short for your accomplishments. Yeah. But I think we all kind of do that. We all have that doubt is always, you know, in there. And I think that's human nature in a way for most people.
Yeah. And like, it's starting to change now because like I analyzed the data for a long period of time because it was always something I wanted to work up to. Like it was in the back of my head because I do a lot of visualization type of stuff. It's like, I would love to be, I kept telling myself, like, especially days that I just felt like an injustice type of feeling with the job that I was working. I was like, you know, it would be so amazing to be able, be able to go and make my own schedule, if you will, and travel and do this and do that. And it's like I kept reverting back to that in my head. And I think that's the only thing that truly that kept me sane.
Right.
Because there were days, I can't even tell you how many times, due to different situations in the hectic environment that I was working, that I wasn't taking any lunch breaks, but I would go sit down in the bathroom for 5 to 10 minutes and cry. I was so stressed.
Right.
I was so overwhelmed. I was so like, and these were all things that could have been prevented, but.
Now, was it like a management position or what were you, it was it sales or something different?
I worked for Walmart.
Oh, it was Walmart. Okay.
At night.
Oh,
yeah.
awesome.
I worked for Walmart at night. I worked pretty regularly, like at minimum 12 hours, but pretty regularly, like 14 to 15-hour shifts. And it was overnight shifts. And I wasn't getting the sleep that I needed. I felt like I had like this type of mentality where I was trying to please everybody.
Right.
And I was just doing too much and trying to be somebody that I wasn't, because, and there's nothing wrong with this, but they wanted me to be like a very no BS type of person all the time.
Right.
And I can't be like that. There's different people that have situations with their health, with their mental health, which my own mental health was struggling, and they weren't seeing me. I'm screaming and I'm saying, hey, I'm struggling from a mental health perspective. I need to scale back a little bit. I need a little bit of room to breathe. And it's like they weren't hearing me. So when that happened, it was like, you know what? If I drive off the side of the road today due to lack of sleep, they're not going to care. They're going to have my job posted in 2 weeks. So it was like, you know, I might as well, especially since if I have the right strategies and the proper planning, I could do a show and make what I was making in 2 weeks. It just made sense. I was like, you know what? I'm so sick of feeling run down, burnt out. I felt like I wasn't being a good mom, a good friend, a good anything to anybody. I was barely surviving. Like I felt like I was going crazy, and like I was like driving one day, and like, you know, when you get off the interstate, normally it's like a yield sign, right? Well, this one time it was a stop sign. The crazy thing was I saw the officer sitting right there on the corner, but like I was so out of it, y'all, that like I swear to you, I swore up and down that was a yield sign. So I ran a stop sign in front of a officer, not even like, I was so out of it. Like, and when he pulled me over, he was like, why'd you do that? I was like, where was the stop sign?
Right. Well, so you're talking about a lot of very important things. I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to go down this road for a second. So for the benefit of those in the chat,
we just got raided, by the way. Gotta have it 24. Thank you so much for your raid.
Gotta have it.
I'm gonna tag you up right now.
We're gonna tag you up. I want to, for the benefit of the chat, is there anyone in the chat that is in the corporate environment or has been in the corporate environment that can identify with this, or is currently going through this, or is trying to make a transition from whatever they're doing to a full-time reseller? And not that this is the evidence that you need, but there's a lot of stuff in there, right? We both come from the corporate world. And about 10 years ago, I went through the same scenario where
Thank you, Tara.
I just came home one day and told Nita that I'm not doing what I'm doing anymore. And it was a 6-figure job. Yeah. And it caused a huge rift in our relationship.
It was scary.
And she didn't understand what I understood about the environment that I was in.
Until it happened to me.
Until it happened to her.
I had like a sexual harassment thing that happened to me.
So
yeah, it was wild.
So to say all that is that you're right. The corporate world, you're a number, right? I mean, some companies take care of you. Most companies anymore don't. And you had enough evidence where this is all going. You had enough evidence from what you've done in the past, eBay, Poshmark, hanging with Granny, stuff that you did on the platform.
Hanging with Granny.
Right? All those things to go, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to believe in myself, right? I have enough social proof and let's go do it. Now, was there anyone else aside from you in your own head? Because that's a trap a lot of times, right? Was there anyone else saying, go do it, go do it, go do it? Or did you just have to get over that hump by yourself? Because I know there's a lot of people in the chat that either are currently going through this, have gone through it, or will at some point come to that.
Or sitting there waiting, should I do this? Should I do this?
So did you have anyone else supporting you in this decision?
My mom, because I told her, I was like, I was looking in the mirror and I didn't even recognize myself anymore. Like I had let my health go to the wayside. My body was breaking out in rashes. Like I was having pain that I didn't have before, and I'm not that old. So you know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah.
I was calling my mom. I was like, Mom, I think I need to go get an MRI or something. Like I feel very ill. Like I feel like
stress was killing you.
Yeah, she was like, I think it's the job. And I was like, but I've been doing this for 10 years, like I feel like I'm the best at what I do. She's like, but you're not holding it together, Nicole.
Right.
Like, what, it's not worth it. There's other jobs out there, and it was taking a serious toll on me. Like I was snapping out at people that I love, and then I had to go back and apologize. I was like, I don't know where that came from. I'm so sorry.
Right.
And like,
well, it came from stress.
I was just tired of being that way. And I went home. So I went home one day and I was really thinking about it. And I was looking at my finances. I was like, I'm okay. And I gave them one last chance. And I sat down with my boss and I was like, listen, I'm really struggling mentally right now. Like I had been diagnosed with severe anxiety and severe depression. Thank God it was environmental for the most part.
Right.
And I was like, listen,
this is what I'm your environment.
I was like, this is what I'm going through. I need a little less for a little while. And the week after, they asked me to work an extra day, and I was already working almost 70 hours a week. So I was like, you know what? They don't give two shits about me. And I was like, that's it. I'm done.
Right.
Now, by the way, this is within the last 3 or 4 months, right?
Yeah, this is recent.
Right. Well, congratulations. April. And by the way, your channel kills it. So you just had to make the jump.
And they knew that. They knew that too. So it's like,
Oh, they knew you were doing whatnot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was doing both for a while, like over a year. Yeah, and then I finally like looking at the data and just finally saying, you know what, if I can make what I'm making just doing this part-time,
right,
I could always, if it doesn't work out, what's the worst that could happen? I have over 10 years of management experience. I could just go get another job if I had to.
Right.
But I had to do something. I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, and guys, this is so,
we've been there.
There's so many elements about whatnot. So we talk about buying, selling, giveaways, raid trains, all this other stuff. But
there's a lot of life involved in it.
This is super, super important, right? Like I'm not glad to hear your story, but I'm glad you're sharing the story, right? Because we, in some way, shape, or form, because Nita always tells the story, for a year, we struggled with how to move from eBay, we did that for a long time, to whatnot, and all the challenges that go into it. And we weren't necessarily dealing with those challenges. We were dealing with different challenges.
No, we were dealing with the challenges before that.
Right, but you all arrive at the same point.
We actually used eBay as our escape, is what we did.
eBay was our escape.
eBay was how we got out of the corporate world.
So how do you feel now? Let's fast forward to the good times.
Are you glad you did what you did?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
100%.
So what advice,
Well, wait, I have one question. Have you exceeded what you projected you would do? Have you exceeded that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I'll watch your channel. I already know the damn answer to that.
That's why I didn't even go the other direction. Oh, did you not? Because I know you did.
Yeah.
I was like, and tell us now. Did you exceed? Yes. Not only what you're making, but what your own projections were.
Right.
So what advice would you give to someone in a similar situation?
Run. don't stay. Like, if you can figure out a way, whether it be like by liquidating some of your retirement, if you're that miserable with your job to where you're not being respected as a human being, right? You're trying to communicate, they're treating you like crap. You just know. You just know in your heart that that's not where you belong. You're having to be someone that you're not. You're going against your values. You're losing time with family, with friends. You don't feel like you're doing anything but surviving. You got to get out. You just have to. And I promise you, like, it can be scary at first, but like the bills are always going to be there, regardless. But if you have a long period of time, like proving what you're capable of, and you have the inventory and you have a good support system, even if it's just getting a different job, don't stay there. But you can 100% turn your life around completely in just a few short months on this app. Given the right amount of, motivation, basically just motivation, not wanting to give up. Just keep moving forward.
Just stay consistent.
Here's another thing, and I can see the sincerity in your face. It's almost like a therapy session.
Well, I feel it. Good. That's what I call this. I always call our talks therapy. Well, but I feel it. I feel what you went through, because I literally went through the same thing, and I want to kind of try to describe that feeling that you're talking about, and that description of that feeling, that emotion, that stress is in the pit of your stomach. Every time you have to either take a phone call from someone, or you have to walk in that building. Right. So anytime, or even get a text. I would get a text and my body would start shaking. That is stress. That is something you have to get away from.
And stress kills.
I identify with every single thing you're saying.
Stress kills. Stress does kill. It's not just something that people say. It is actually true. And the older you get, the more it'll wear you down. The more it'll wear you down, and the tougher it is on your mental. And some people can't recover from that. What I was going to say a second ago is, so the therapy aspect of this, which again, you can kind of see, for those that can identify with this, because there's some people that have no idea what we're talking about. And hopefully they never have to.
I hope a lot of people have no idea what we're talking about. Exactly.
They never have to experience that.
Yeah.
But the other element to this is, unlike eBay or Poshmark or Mercari or any of these other platforms, I was asking a second ago, when did you transition? When did you make the leap? The difference in this platform, which is evident by those who helped you raise funds, is that there are so many people you can lean on that can help you make that transition. They can't make the decision for you, but they can help you figure out how to find the inventory, how to source, or even like what you're doing right now, which is you're starting down the road of doing consignments, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is amazing.
A little bit of a segue there.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, that's good. Good work. Good work. You're getting good at this.
That's pure luck. How's that shit show? How's that working out for you so far?
Good. Of course, with it being something completely different, there's been a couple hiccups, things that I identified that I should do differently. Contracts are important, if you're getting into something like that, like, hey, this is the expectation, for us to get to XYZ outcome that we would like to get to, like, for example, you can't expect me to come do this for you and you don't have any shipping supplies if I'm telling you months in advance to have it.
Right.
Wait, hold on. Time out. I was thinking about having you stop in. So you're telling me you're not going to come to Florida and bring the boxes with you? Is that what? Because I'm telling you right now, that's a deal breaker.
Yes.
That's a deal breaker.
Watch.
Deal breaker.
I'm going to go like this. I'm going to walk out.
Exactly.
I'm going to travel by foot.
That's so funny.
Right. So expectations, that's always a challenge, right?
Yeah.
So do you have like an agreement that you have everybody sign?
I've had somebody's help to draft one. Obviously the people that I already made agreements with before, I'm not going to be like, oh, now you need to sign it. That's kind of crap. But going forward, I do have, especially if I feel like I can't have that one-on-one 100% with them, because some people are more open than others and more agreeable than others.
Right.
You can just kind of tell who you're not, who you shouldn't have an issue with getting to do what they should do. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus like someone you don't know at all that seems kind of like hesitant to do what they need to do. Because some people that'll contact you, they could have been successful on their own, but due to different, different types of scenarios, it didn't work out. And that's okay. But they need to know ahead of time what the expectation is. Otherwise, I can only go so far to give them a result.
Right. And you don't want to strain the relationship.
Correct.
Actually, Tucker has a great question.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because this is what we're talking about is super important, right? Yeah, I'm not talking about the consignment stuff. I'm talking about the mental health stuff, the transition stuff. So why don't we open it up to the chat, which is, we typically don't do this, so we have one question. But we'll open it up to the chat. Let's see if anyone in here that may be in a similar situation, any questions that
guys, get an activity.
that we want to ask.
Yes, Tucker did. Tucker said, because on consignment, they're doing their first consignment next week. What do you wish you knew beforehand before you started doing them?
That people might give you promises as far as like helping you with shipping and stuff like that. They might give you these promises, but they don't fulfill them. And Tucker, the thing is, like, you got to explain to people, you're only going to be able to give them a certain level of success that they're willing to put in the effort into also.
Right. You need them to do their part.
Exactly. So not everybody they're going to say a lot of stuff to you because they want you to come do it, but like, don't let them do
Nikki's corner with the raid.
Don't let them do the bait and the switch on you. That's where I'm at now, where it's like, it helps to have some type of a contract where it's like, now I'm like, right now I've been doing 40% for most situations, but I'm having to tweak my business model to say, well, if I have to do all the packaging, it's got to be 50% because that's a lot of freaking work, which, I'm a workhorse. I'll do it, but it can't be, I'm over here busting my hump in a 10 by 10 small space that's cluttered because things aren't organized ahead of time, which should have been done.
Right.
But it's like, all these things that you told me would have been the scenario before. Well, now it's not when I'm here, but I don't want to strain the relationship.
You want to stick to your word. But it is difficult to perform when you're not in an environment that's set up for you to succeed.
Correct. And so make sure that they, that they have things set up for you in advance. That's going to help you astronomically. Maybe call them like a week before, be like, hey, I'm touching base, is everything set in place? Are we still good for me to come to you? This is the plan.
Assumptions.
Yeah.
Make no assumptions.
Yeah.
So just so you know,
we just got rated by Nikki's Corner, by the way. I just want to say this real quick. And she stirred up the chat because they all came in and typed flaming anus. And she didn't know it was a podcast. Yeah. She didn't know it. She goes, I'm so sorry, it's a podcast. Okay. But guys, give Nikki's Corner a follow. Thank you so much for that rating.
Guys, so when Philly and Nikki were coming back from Georgia, they stopped in Jacksonville. There's a restaurant here, for those that don't know the story, called Famous Amos. But to the locals, it's referred to as Flaming Anus.
Oh my God.
And ever since then, Flaming Anus in the chat. So
we love you, Nikki.
Nikki,
you so
appreciate
much.
you. Hopefully,
is it spicy?
Show.
Guys, get an activity. Is it spicy? No, it's just breakfast spot. Is all it is.
No, it's just
it's good breakfast.
It's a greasy spoon.
Because it used to be open 24 hours. So everybody used to go there after going clubbing and stuff or being out, go there, and then the next morning everyone used to call it Flaming Anus.
Yeah, just like Taco Bell.
Yeah, but we all know it was the alcohol. It wasn't the food.
So if anyone's coming in the chat, we are having a therapy session with Limitless,
and it's been amazing so far.
It's been amazing, and there's a lot of benefit here, whether you come from the same environment, the same background, whether you're going through the same challenges, because really all we're talking about, if you boil it all down, is the assault on your mental well-being.
Right.
Right. And whether or not you do this full time, whether or not you have the background that you have, no matter where you're at, you're going to cross a bridge where you have to deal with this business mentally. And as we mentioned, we dealt with it before. So, but back to your point is, you can't assume anything, right? And we learned this in the business that we dealt with. It's all contractual, right? which is people are going to say a bunch of stuff, and on game day,
it isn't what you thought it was.
Shit's going to change.
Yeah. So I think like I just picture this, if you're going to have an agreement with someone, I think you should probly put it in writing.
Right.
And I think I would be FaceTiming the hell out of this person and say, show me what you have.
Well, the challenge with that is that a writing agreement seems impersonal.
It does, but it has to be done.
Until there's a dispute.
Until you get down to brass tacks.
Right. Until there's a dispute, and then rather it being a he say, she say, or this is what I understood, or they say this is what I understood.
Right.
You can simply refer back to something in writing and say, here's what it is. Let's try to work through that challenge. But you can't do that with he say, she say. That's kind of like trying to interpret a text message. One person writes it one way, the other person interprets it something different. You can't interpret feelings to a text message. You cannot resolve he say, she say arguments most of the time. So.
Right. You can't. So I think it's smart. I think it's smart to have something in writing. Something simple. At least just something simple.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be a long, real estate contract or something like that.
But your consignments are working out. I watched a couple of the shows. You're selling the hell out of the stuff, so the back end stuff will work itself out. And that's the growing pains everyone goes through. So.
Billy, thank you so much. Billy BFF. Guys, please give him a follow.
I thought you were... Hold on a second.
He's supposed to be celebrating 4th of July right now. I just bought a sponsored gift, guys.
Billy, I love you to death.
I'm going to start that.
I love you to death, Billy, but I got to be honest with you. I'm
thank
a little
you
perturbed.
So much.
I'm a little perturbed that you reached out on the 3rd and say you missed our
guys,
get together on the 4th.
Get in that giveaway. That is a $20 digital Amazon gift card. If you are the winner, please DM me with your email so I can send it to you.
You know, Billy, I would have gotten a car and
courtesy of Billy BFFs
and driven to Rhode Island if you would have given us a little more head up.
Bill's still going on. I'm trying to do business
I want some clams.
I'm trying, and he's still going
on. I'm a clam bake.
You see, shit show, Nicole, shit show.
I'm hungry. Big dude's got to eat.
Please give Billy BFF.
Billy, we love you, man.
The absolute best. Give him a follow, guys. And Billy, I hope you're having an amazing time. We miss you.
So, what's on tap?
Stop. No, he doesn't.
I'll never stop.
He doesn't. I just shut him up.
Whatever, man. So what's on tap? What's like?
You have more coming up because you just did one. You said you were shipping like 500 packages until 4 a.m. yesterday. Was that out of town or was that home?
500 packages?
That was here. It was 500 items.
Oh, I thought you meant packages.
Did you bring your own boxes?
Huh?
Did you bring your own boxes?
She's at home.
I brought all this stuff home.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure you're doing the right thing by the customer. That's all.
Bill being Bill.
I'm sorry.
You know how he is.
I'm sorry.
You know how he is.
You're good.
But it is working out for you though. So I think what'll happen is anybody who probably starts consignment, there might be some things that you're going to have to experience, just like anything else.
Yeah.
You're going to experience something where you're like, oh shit, okay, this can't happen again. I'm going to put this in place
to
try to at least avoid it.
100% of the way you think it's going to go.
Right. Yeah, but do you like that? I mean, okay, so you've done it a couple times now. Do you like doing that more so than being home and selling your own stuff that you bought? Which one do you like better?
It depends on the scenario, right? So like if somebody has a bunch of stuff that I can dig through and be a bull in a china shop, I like doing that. But I love storage units. Yes. I love digging. Like there's nothing else like it. I used to say I like doing it because I'm a big like gift giver, but like for some reason in my life, like that hasn't been like I haven't been on the receiving end of that. Right. So like people aren't super great with like surprising me and stuff. So I'm like, I'll get my own damn surprises. I'm gonna go dig. Right. I'm gonna go treasure hunt. So like I love storage units. But I do love the traveling too. It's just a different kind of love. Like, you have 2 children and you love them the same. But different. But it's like, but in a, for different reasons. Right. You get what I'm saying? So I love both of them. I really enjoy like the social aspect. We talked about how I grew up and I didn't have like a ton of friends and stuff like that. So like, I feel like now I'm part of this amazing community and I'm meeting all these great people and I'm learning their background. And it's like, I'm finding that there's so many people that went through the same things as I did. And it's like, wow, as a child, when I felt so alone, like I wasn't. There's so many.
Nope. So you got 2 right here that went through the same thing, basically.
And I still go through that with her on a daily basis. So thank you for sharing that because it takes a lot to share that in front of
Yeah, but I think that's a growth thing. Showing your vulnerability.
Yeah.
Showing your vulnerabilities is a growth thing, and that's part of our growth. Some people bottle it up, right, and do what they have to do.
Yeah,
other people can actually talk about it with no problem, and it's much healthier, though, I think, to do what we are doing.
Yeah, because if you don't, you end up like Michael Douglas on Falling Down. You go around and just shoot up the neighborhood, and we don't. Listen, we do not want to see you going around shooting up the neighborhood, okay? Because that'd be bad for everyone. Yeah. So we've talked about a lot of stuff. Let's get to the most important question. How do you find all the shit that you get, man? You get the craziest stuff. Like, listen, there's people in the chat that want to know. And if you don't want to know, I want to know for you, chat. Where do you get your crazy? No,
that was an epic movie, Punisher.
Where do you get the crazy shit from? All right, because
what do you consider crazy?
Don't play coy with me. Don't play coy with me. I watch your shows, okay?
Don't play coy with me.
All right, you get the crazy stuff from cards to toys to, how do you do it? Let's help the chat, which is really helping us. But let's pretend like we're trying to help the chat, which is really helping me. Where do you get your crazy stuff?
Look, so you gotta go on all the storage websites. There's LockerFox, there's storageauctions.com. What's the other one? Storage Treasures, Bid 13. Then of course you have estate auctions. Was it .net or .com? There's so many. There's so many websites. So you're gonna want to go through all those different ones. Now, when you're going on for example, Storage Treasures, there's that tab at the top that you can type in keywords, right? And if you open up the zip code to where I think I have a 500-mile radius or something.
Will you go 500 miles?
I have before.
Let's go. Okay. All right.
But not all the time, that's I'm only one person.
Yeah.
I don't have people that I trust on a regular basis that I can just send, across the country to go get it. I'd love to, but I'm not there yet. So
all right, chat, she's sharing secrets. You guys better be taking notes. She's sharing secrets.
Let's say, for example, you guys want to find shoes, you're a shoe head, you want to resell shoes, type in that little search bar, that keywords shoes, and then open up that radius. You could, let's say I live in Louisiana, maybe you could find something in upstate New York that's a killer shoe unit. Now, don't go bidding on it crazy if it just has boxes, because those could be empty. I'm not giving bad advice here. Only try to go off of what you can see for the most part. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying you're gonna see buku shoes out in the open. Sometimes you might find the shoe container, mm-hmm. right? Or the shoe rack, but it's deductive reasoning, right? So if I see a shoe rack, there's probably shoes, right? Or if I see a gaming chair, there's probably more gaming stuff in the unit. If I see nice furniture, they probably have other nice items.
Look for bags. Look for the bags where they shop.
Wait, so hold on a second. So you're saying if I see Walmart and Aldi bags, not good or good? I'm confused.
Well, if you see rotting food, I wouldn't recommend buying it.
All right, I just want to be clear. Okay. All right. So, but seriously, right? Deductive reasoning, beautiful. So, type in the chat bar and basically narrow down your search. Is that what you're saying?
I have a list. So everybody should have a generalization of what their customers shop for, right? You always have people who come in asking for what? Pokemon. Do you have comics? Do you have toys? Do you have this? So I have a list of those things that I'm going to search for, not just on those storage websites, but I'm also going to look for those things on Facebook Marketplace. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go many, many miles. I've traveled 3, 4, 5 hours to buy out huge collections when it's deemed appropriate.
Right.
Like the million card collection that you had, right? See, I watched the shows, man. I watched the shows. I'm paying attention. I know what the hell's going on around this piece.
Good.
So, okay, well, for those of us who do or don't do that, right? So we're searching by keyword. So if people are searching by keyword, let's say by shoes or toys or whatever, then chances are you're going to pay up for those units, right? Because those are things. So that means in the description, those are things that can be plainly seen.
Right.
which then means other people are potentially bidding on those items. Is that how that works?
Not necessarily. That could just mean that okay. You know, on like Storage Treasures, they have like what, 5, 6 photos, right?
Yes.
Right.
The manager might see something because they're there in person and they could get a better view of it. They might see something that we can't see even when we zoom in. So
Right.
I've looked at storage units that said like comics, for example. I'm looking in the picture, I'm like, where the hell are the comics?
Right.
You
And
know?
how do they know?
Right. So I've got on the phone and I'm like, excuse me, my name's Nicole. I'm interested in this auction, you know, that ends tomorrow. I noticed in the description it says comics, you know, is that a typo? And you know, if they say no, there's actually comics in there, I'll be like, okay, cool. You know,
Hold on,
because
man. You're skating past dropping some knowledge here, Nikki, right? You pick up the phone and call the storage facility.
Hello?
Hello?
All right, chat.
Hello?
Chat, how many people that buy storage auctions? Serious talk, guys. We need some feedback on this one.
We got another sponsor divvy too.
How many people in the chat that buy storage auctions have ever picked up the phone and called the facility? Come on, guys. Admit it.
Have or have not.
What's up, VinMod?
Hi, VinMod.
Oh, another thing too.
Double J
okay.
in the house.
Another thing too.
Full-time deals in the house.
So you're dropping knowledge right now. Okay, so you are deductive reasoning, right? So if I see something or if it's in the title, I don't see it. Let me go a step further, make a phone call, talk to the manager, because that could lead to other opportunities, by the way, assuming that they're not 1,000 miles away, local.
Right.
And if you use the right language and you approach it correctly, people love to talk, right?
Yes.
You might even find out a little bit more information if you position your questions correctly. You might be able to find out how many times the auction has come up for bid. You might be able to find out if that person has multiple units at that location.
Right, because that sometimes happens too.
Right? So all kinds of stuff, right?
Yep.
Right. And then, you know, definitely...
I don't know if that's Nick or Monica, but from Old Time Deals, but they said if local, I buy them donuts and talk to them.
That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
That's what I was going to say.
Absolutely. It is nothing. It is, if anyone's been in sales or outside sales, I did. I used to have to go visit doctor's offices because I specialize in Medicare. You bring those people food. You bring them things all the time. I bring them smoothies.
You showed up and showed your boobs.
I bring them, whatever. I bring them afternoon, you know, ice cream or something. It works, guys.
There's some knowledge being dropped right here.
It absolutely works.
There's some knowledge being dropped right here, guys. I'm taking notes. So
you gotta treat it just like your outside sales. I love that.
So
I never thought about it that way.
So you're smoozing the facility managers in essence, right?
All right, real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and run this next sponsored givey courtesy of Crafty Fairies.
Crafty Fairies.
Guys, this is a $20 Amazon digital gift card. If you win this, send me a DM so I can get your email.
Can we tag up Crafty Fairies so we can look at their profile, please? So while...
There we go, right there.
All right, hold on one second. Thank you. So Crafty Fairies, 5.0 rating.
Love her to death.
1.1 sold, so she hit her 1,000. Good for you.
Congratulations, instant payout.
Good for you, good for you. And next show is 7/6 at 1:45, bookmark.
And 7/6 at 6:20. You're doing 2 raid trains.
Oh, you're doing the raid
day.
Train. Nice. To Colorful, Colorado.
Oh, that's a Limitless.
Oh.
Wait, time out. Time the hell out.
What's going on here? Oh, wait, that's right. You're working with Crafty.
That's right. So, guys, this is very good. This is very good, actually.
So if we
get
Crafty Fairies. So we get like 5%
Wait, did
of that
I
for
start
promoting,
that?
don't we?
Hold on, I didn't start this.
Don't we get 5% for promoting? That was in the agreement, right?
It was always hustling, guys. It's always hustling.
That was in the agreement we signed.
So,
all right, guys, so yes.
Courtesy of Crafty Fairies.
Yep, so Limitless.
Is the...
Have you started doing that yet? I feel like you've already started.
Digital gift card, get in there. You didn't start that one yet,
You
right?
haven't started with Crafty Fairies yet, have you?
No,
okay,
I leave Sunday.
Okay.
Okay, on the 6th.
Guys, so that's on 7/6. So bookmark that, and then Crafty's following up on 7, same day. Wow, crazy. Yeah. We bookmark that, and 7/7. Crafty,
just
are you running?
Shows, guys.
She's literally running every day, which I guess you guys are running.
Limitless has a couple shows.
Guys, let's show them some support. Let's show them some support. Crafty, thank you so much.
Make sure you bookmark that.
Thank you so much. In less than 1 day ship time. Now, Crafty, are you bringing the boxes? Or is Nikki bringing the boxes? We got to make sure we're clear on this because there's been some confusion. Who's showing up with the boxes here? You got all that worked out, right? Okay, we haven't been talking about boxes anymore. All right.
Oh, who just tipped us?
Thank you.
She's prepared.
Thank you so much. Guys, please give Car Chick a follow too. Amazing person.
Yes,
amazing person. Well, also on the app.
Car Chick, are you Thelma or Louise? They're both great characters. I just don't know which one's which. Again, minus the ending, right? We like the rest of the movie.
Bring the darn boxes. Holy crap.
So hold on a second. Let's go back to Crafty. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. Get an activity.
That's going to be an amazing opportunity. I'm sure you guys are going to kill it together, and we'll be making sure we can tune in, assuming that we're not hopping a plane to Vegas.
Yeah.
Even then, we'll probably buy the Wi-Fi and see if we can.
We'll still be on there. Yeah.
Right. Let's go back to what we're talking about, because we're right in the vein of some good stuff. So you're going out 500 miles potentially. You're searching for keywords, and then when you have an opportunity, you're reaching out to the storage facility managers and saying, "Hey, this is your girl. Holla, give me some information," right? And do you typically?
What do you ask them?
Do you find that they are willing to talk to you, or
yes?
Okay.
What exactly do you ask them?
Because here's another great tip. So normally, especially if it's like a facility that I've been to, like if I think I'm going to go there more than once, I'll hang around. This is usually around the time I'm waiting to collect my deposit back, right? I'll say, "Hey, has anybody left anything behind? You know, I have a little bit room left in my trailer. Do you need me to throw any mattresses away for you? Do you need me to do this? Do you need me to do that? Hey, I noticed your dumpster is overflowing. Do you want me to come help take care of that for you?" And let them know, like, "Hey, if you have any auctions that aren't going to be bought, I'm your girl. Like, I'll go." Like, I had built a really nice relationship with one area manager. He started out as a store manager. He became an area manager. Ooh. He called me from Jackson, Mississippi, which is 3 hours ish from me. And he was like, "Girl, I got 2 storage units that didn't get any bids because the pictures were just trash. I just fired the store manager here. He was just taking like ones that were all dark and blurry and whatever. He's like, "Girl, you got to get up here." And I was still working at my job at the time, and I was like, "I'm calling off tomorrow," because he was showing me all this stuff. It was comics, it was collectibles.
Let's go.
Like key comics, like nice ones. He was like, I was like, "Well, what's in it? What do you need me to do?" He's like, "I just need you to take it all, and whatever you sell the stuff for, if you want to cut me in a percentage, you can have it."
Right.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
So it's all relationships.
This is old school marketing. Yeah. Old school marketing. So
that's amazing.
So we talked to not to steal your thunder, but when we did the podcast with Tucker's Treasures, his method was very similar, right? Go out, find people, become friends, and make sure you take care of them, right? And I'm not talking about under the table deals, but one of the things we learned from being on the corporate side, everyone likes gift cards, everyone likes donuts, everyone likes a smoothie, or a nice dinner. Because at the end of the day, one thing that we've learned from going to local auctions is whenever so if you go to and you probably know this, when you go to a local auction and no one bids, right? Because whatever the reason, they got to clean that shit out.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And they don't like doing that stuff. That's not their job per se.
Right.
So if you can provide that service, and if you position yourself correctly, they'll remember you.
Absolutely.
There's a guy here that gets a lot of. The guy gets like 4 units a week.
Guys, you got 15 seconds to get in that giddy. That's $20. Amazon.
Thank you. Thanks to Crafty
24
Fairies.
24 yarn in there, courtesy of Crafty Fairies.
And I was like, "How do you get so many units?" He's like, "I just offer to clean them out for free."
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are shit. Be honest, right?
Yeah.
But he's found some crazy stuff, and this is a guy that I built a relationship, and he allows me to come look at these units, and I get to pick beforehand before he goes to the flea market. So. It just takes a little extra work. That's all. And a little social skills.
Right.
Right. So biggest storage unit win in this whole conversation about storage units. What's your biggest win? Let's get the crowd excited. Tell us about the time you found the Picasso or the gold coins.
Come here, TJ. Let me get my helper. What do you think has been the biggest storage unit win since you've been working with me?
Probably the one we won for $80.
Oh, the one in Harvey?
The one in Harvey, it cost us $80. And
it was $60.
$60.
Okay,
so the first things we pulled out of it was a...
Can you hear him?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the first things we pulled out of it was a sterling silver dinnerware set that we sold for $1,400.
Mm-hmm. Let's go. Let's go.
Wow.
That $60 unit turned into around like, what was it?
15,000. I think about 15,000.
All in.
Was it collectibles, toys, a combination of everything?
So do you still have that old auction photo? Can you pull it up?
Ooh, I don't know, but it had but I mean we had like 7 or 8.
This would be really good to show. Try to sign into your storage treasures.
Oh God, I don't know when that was.
You should be able to.
Yeah, you should. Storage treasures should always have your photos. Yeah.
Go to the purchase history.
So it was. About...
I'll show you what I. Okay, so funny story. This is when he first started working with me, and I was trying to entice him because I needed. We worked together at Walmart at the time. He still works for the company. I already told you my story. So I was looking for somebody.
Clearly, he hasn't listened to your story.
No, he knows my story. He was one of the few people that was like, "You got to get out of there. This is destroying your health."
Right, but he's still
my mom,
yeah.
Well,
you gotta help him make the leap.
I was trying to get her to quit a year ago.
His situation's different. He doesn't go through. For one, he doesn't work nights, and he doesn't have children, so his situation's different. I was going through something.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I was trying to entice someone that I was friendly with, like, to be like, hey, I need someone to help unload these things, because like trying to pay people on the side doesn't always turn out, and it's really hard. I was trying to do this stuff by myself and with like part-time unreliable help. So I was telling him at work, I was like, hey, we got these crazy looking units coming up, and you could tell just a little bit at a time he was getting more and more interested. And I was like, hey, what about this unit over here, across the highway? And he was like, I guess I'll come take a look and see what it's like. And he's digging through boxes, and this one I had gotten like a bunch of like really rare like Air Jordans. Like there was like this pair that it was called like Supreme Jordan Desert Camo or something.
Right.
Those went for good money.
Is this the same $60 unit?
No. Okay. This is how I got him invested at first. And then we're finding like all this other stuff and gaming stuff, and he was like, this is amazing. How much did you pay for this? And then after that, I was looking on Storage Treasures, and I found this unit. I was like, look, dude, I know you're kind of hesitant about getting into it. I was like, but I'll help you find your first unit that I think would be a home run. So I was like, I really think I got a spidey sense about this one. I think you should go in on it. And if he can find it, possibly, I'll show you what I saw.
This is technically his first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it sounds like between him and the storage facility managers, you're just sweet talking everyone into everything. That's what I'm getting from people. That's what I'm getting from this.
I'm just good to I'm good. I treat people well,
No, you're smart.
You're
that person anyway.
Smart and resourceful.
Exactly.
You're that person anyway, Nicole.
Okay, here we go.
It's not hard for you to do. It's just you.
This was the 60. This was the storage unit. What do y'all see? Can you see it? Tell me what would attract you to buy this.
Well, I see a Pokemon game right at the top.
Exactly.
It's vintage.
Uh-huh.
Right
I actually have that game.
Do you?
That's $125 game.
I
have
it
exactly.
You have that game in the garage.
I literally have that game in the garage.
Yep.
The chest, and then if you zoom all the way in, I think in this bag, I think it was this one. I could see it was one of these bags. I could see more Pokemon. And I was like, well, I see vintage stuff. I saw the fur coat.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say, is that a fur coat? Because you can see the furs.
I was like, man, this is giving me hefty vintage vibes. And this was only a 5x5, so it was perfect. Wow. I was like, this would be the perfect unit for you.
Start out, right.
I know it's kind of in the hood, so,
sometimes that doesn't matter.
I will tell you this.
Sometimes that does not matter.
Our single most profitable unit
was in the hood.
Came from the hood.
Yeah, see, $60.
That's even better.
Nice.
Nice. So, and then I was like, at the time, it was crazy.
That's exactly right, Punisher.
I do
just
come strapped.
We do.
Yeah, we do come strapped.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
But we're unloading this, and I'm so excited for him. I'm like a bull in a china shop. I have all this stuff in the hallway, and he was like, why are you so messy? I was like, because I'm excited. And I was like,
we gotta find it.
He didn't know how to check comps or anything at the time. Like he had to you know, I taught him everything now, and now sometimes he knows more than I do about some comp stuff.
Yeah,
And I was like explaining to him, and I was like, dude, this is unbelievable. This is so expensive. I was like, dude, the sterling silverware set and everything. And I was like, you're gonna
Freaking
make
amazing.
many thousands of dollars on this.
Amazing.
And he found, when he got to the OG Pokemon decks, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and I was like, you're hooked now, aren't you? He was like, yeah.
Nice.
Well, that's all it takes, because it is addicting. I mean, it's fun. I mean, again, the day after I got out of the hospital, right?
Yeah.
The day after I got out,
digging around.
he's like, I got this unit, and I saw the stuff. I'm like, can I go with you? He's like, really? You want to go? I was like, yeah.
I was like, hold on a second.
I didn't last
You said
long.
you want to go to the storage unit and dig around?
I was like, yeah.
I was like, let's go.
Well, to be fair, it's because it was in a climate controlled. I wouldn't have done it if it was outside.
There was a dead rat in that one, and it was climate.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
If that would have happened to her, I wouldn't see her in a storage unit for the next 3 years.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, I
but
ran.
It's not as hot, though. The heat is what I can't take. And so
I ran.
we went. I didn't last long, though. I ended up having to go sit in the truck. But I did
you lasted
go.
long enough for us to find gold.
Yeah, we found the gold.
Which is good. So.
We found money. It was wild. Like all these silver certificates.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so.
But it's exciting. And it is
exciting.
addicting. And that is the addicting part of it. You know, and I think that what we have to do, and we've been saying it, is that we have to go past our 200 or 150 mile search. We never do that. Right. We're always just searching here. We have to expand personally.
Well, so the biggest challenge, Nick, you probably know this, right? So you're thinking 250 miles or anything past 50 miles. You got to go prepared, right? You can't go there and not have the right size truck.
Right, you got to know where the dump
right size trailer.
Where the dump is in the area.
Right, because you can't go there and anticipate it's a 1 load and it's a 2 loader because that's death.
Right.
Right. So how do you handle that? How do you handle that?
I get the biggest truck possible. Or I call ahead of time. I'm like, hey,
Hello?
what's up? What's up, store manager? Hey, I got a question for you. I'm just trying to be prepared. I'm a experienced purchaser, experienced buyer. You know, I've bought many units. Are there any gross mattresses that I should be aware of? It's not going to deter me from buying. I just need to know. Right. And then, you know, does it stink?
Right.
Are there bottles that they urinated in, or did they live out of it? Just give me the heads up. I'll drop you some money on Venmo just for telling me.
Right. Just give me the inside.
Guys, I don't think we know the value.
Can I rent the unit if I need to?
The remote phone. The remote phone is fire.
Yeah, you're actually killing it with that phone. Yeah, you're killing it with that phone, Nikki. Guys, I mean, this is.
That's great information.
The value that you're dropping in the chat right now. First of all, thank you for sharing that.
Even we're picking up on
some people think that by sharing that somehow deters from their ability to make money, and it doesn't.
This is a big country.
There's so many.
Very big country.
You know, and some people don't realize that we always talk about that competition starts at the bottom, collaboration happens at the top. So
right.
So about how many storage, because now we're in it. About how many storage units do you buy on a monthly basis, or how often do you buy? Maybe is a better question.
Well, before I was traveling more, I was buying at least twice a month. Now, when I was less busy, at one point I was buying every week. I mean, depending on how far I had to go. So at one point,
just you two that are emptying it out and everything? Is it just you two doing the work, or do you have somebody else that helps?
Primarily it's us, and then I get my 13-year-old son to help from time to time. But you know how teenagers are.
I know how a 23-year-old.
I was about to say
we have one.
You are doing well if you're getting them to help, because I can't get that kid.
I even offered to give him like $100, and he was like, "Man," I'm like, "You turd."
$100 for a 13-year-old? That's like $1,000.
Right. I know. For a 13-year-old.
Jesus.
That's a big number. Well, nowadays he couldn't even get a pair of Jordans, so I guess.
At least he's doing our shipping for us now. So you know we're gonna appreciate. We're gonna count our blessings.
We'll take one victory.
We're gonna count our blessings with him. But he should be out. See, the problem with our son is that he's highly allergic to pollen, dust,
work.
And when I tell you, like, the poor kid, I mean, we've taken him before, and
highly allergic to work.
It just becomes, no, seriously, he does have allergies really bad. And
storage units here are no joke, especially with pollen early in the year.
Yeah. So it's hard for us to get him to help, and it's hard on him because I can't help because I have back issues. I don't know if you know about my back issues, but they're really bad. And this dude over here is doing it all by himself. Like, I literally can't do anything physically. It's bad.
Yeah, the unit I cleaned out in the last 2 days had probably 5,000 pounds worth of stereo equipment in it.
Oh my God.
The good news is it was
all by himself.
So, but I've also learned to use multiple, pieces of equipment to make that stuff.
Well, we got a badass dolly out of that unit, actually. We got like a big heavy duty.
All right, so we could talk all day about storage units, but we will be respectful of the audience time and be respectful of your time, which thank you so much.
We're at 7:02.
Let's talk about a couple of things before we...
And if you guys have any questions, we will take your questions.
Yeah, please, guys. If there's questions.
Someone did ask, I don't know if they're still in the chat, but someone did ask, what do I do with the stuff that's like...
Oh, yeah, I wrote that down. Yeah, so what do you do with your unsellable stuff?
To be honest, and I think y'all can relate to this too, I don't know if y'all do unboxings a lot, but if you're doing true live unboxings, let's be real, like you can sell a keychain or, like an old condoms box that's sealed, for advertisement.
I'm pretty sure that was a transformer.
Or, sealed diapers from the 90s,
right.
Everything, if you think about it, you would be surprised at what has value. Look
Absolutely.
everything up if you can, but if you're doing live unboxing, if you're being real with it, you're not looking this stuff up because we're seeing when the customer's seeing it, right?
Right. That's exactly right.
If you can sell it, if it's legal to sell, number one, in general, and number two, on whatnot, because we found things like, eggplant pumps, we'll call them. You can't sell that on here.
Right.
But I say all that to say this: most of the things that you think might be junk, well, actually somebody might buy, especially if you put it and you fill a flat rate box with nonsensical stuff. So to be real with you, I don't have a ton of stuff that isn't sellable. I find a buyer for most of my items. Now, things that are like broken or like mattresses that look like they've been part of a murder scene, if I have a large quantity of it, I break it down as small as I can with like a sledgehammer or a chainsaw. We have a burn barrel. We rent dumpsters. They'll come drop. I think I've showed you guys once or twice if you watch my shows. A big roll off dumpster. Mm-hmm. They'll come drop in your yard. Mm-hmm. It's like $500, but if that prevents you from having to have a storage unit full of junk that you're paying hundreds of dollars a month to keep,
or a trip from the dump or anything like that,
it makes sense.
We're talking right there.
Yeah. And then you can do it at your own pace too, because like usually we unload into the shop in the backyard or into the garage. So like right now, my garage is full, my trailer is full. So if I needed to, if I found a banger unit that I just feel like I couldn't live without, I absolutely would make the investment to go get the biggest U-Haul that I needed for the job. I'd load it up and I would start throwing stuff away if I needed to, or I would go on Facebook Marketplace. They have like the buy nothing groups and just say, hey, I have these items, if I don't feel like the time that I put into it is worth the financial outcome, I give a lot of stuff away, and that's all I tax right off.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of relationships we have with people at the flea market where we'll go into a unit and they know this is how it works. There's nothing shady about it. We'll take what we want, and in exchange for cleaning out the unit, they can have everything that's left. And we leave them enough, because they sell at the flea market, we leave them enough where they make plenty of money.
Right.
So depending on the size of the unit or depending on how good the unit is, we might go in and take 20% of the stuff because we know we'll do really well with it. And the other 80% is probably things that maybe we wouldn't have sold anyhow, but it's also a goodwill gesture for them to say, hey, listen, here is a bunch of stuff. Come pick it up, clean out the unit. You can have everything that's left over. And those people are anxious to show up whenever you have a good unit. So
yeah, and that's worth its weight in gold to have someone that you can rely on to come help you clean it out. Because the faster that you can get cleaned out, the faster you can sell, and then you can put your money back in the game and buy more. Right. It's very, very time sensitive situation, and you just got to move the stuff as quick as possible. I've even gone as far as like, while I'm unloading the unit, if I see a dresser or a couch that I really don't want to mess with or I don't have the space for, I'll be listing it right there in real time on Marketplace, like free, under the circumstance, that you come pick it up within the next 48 hours.
Right, come get it. I need it gone now. Yeah.
Right, smart.
Yep.
All these are nuggets, valuable nuggets. So
right, if you had 48 hours to empty it or something like that, if you have 48 hours, first thing, take pictures of it, get it on,
get it out the way,
and make me an offer. It's got to go.
Yeah.
You know, come get it.
So, a couple questions, and again, all this is just amazing. Thank you so much, because we don't. A lot of times in our shows, we don't go down this road, but I'm happy that we did, because
we go down different roads, and it's actually Olga's Finds just said, I just want to say thank you for doing these shows. They really help us new sellers.
Oh, that's cool. Olga, thank you.
You're very welcome, and that's why we do it, guys. I mean, we don't just do it. You know, we don't just do it for us. I mean, we learn a lot, because what do we?
Oh,
what do we like to say? We have a student mentality.
I'm telling you,
we
right
don't know
now,
it all.
I got all kinds of notes happening right now, so I can tell you that right now.
We do not know it all, and these conversations that we have with all these different sellers, and we talk about how everybody does something different.
Well, you always say you know it all.
I do. No, but it's that's why we do it. That's why we do it, and it works.
It does. It's good. I mean, thank you for contributing to the community in multiple ways. So 2 questions for you.
Yeah, we've never had anybody tell us no so far, so I guess we're doing something right.
Right.
You know.
What offer would you, or what advice would you give to a brand new seller, knowing what you know today? You've shared a lot of information on your journey, but now you're at this road. Knowing what you know today, what is the best advice you can give to a brand new seller?
Do not get hung up on what you think you should get for something, especially on this app. This is not eBay. This is not Poshmark. This is a very unique platform. It is a very social platform. So if you are going to get aggravated that this sells for $1, if you choose to do dollar auctions, right?
Right.
Even if you try to pretend like it doesn't bother you, people can hear it in your voice, and they're not going to feel comfortable shopping with you, right? So you got to have the mentality of, all these items are in my way and stopping me from being able to buy more, because I'm either going to run out of money or I'm going to run out of space. One of the two things is going to happen, and that's going to hinder you from that next unit that could be, shit you not, $100,000 unit. So get that out of your head. 2, also, because if you get so hung up in the short term of what this didn't sell for in your mind, which you could be wrong, by the way, you're going to get discouraged, and you're going to end up like, let's be real, it's like 70%, in my opinion, of people who start on here, they don't give themselves a year to work out the kinks and figure out where they land. So you're quitting because you discouraged yourself so badly by comparing yourself to other people who don't give a flying hoot about what shit sells for.
Right.
You're quitting before you even get there. And you can't do that. You just got to let it fly. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but like, think about the long-term success of your business. What you lose on this, if you really did lose, that's part of your business. It costs money to build a business, right? They say your first 2 years is just shit in most situations. So just know that you might, even if you lose a small percentage now, guess what? You're gaining customers. You're gaining customers.
And experience.
Exactly. And those customers are worth so much more than the $5 or $10 that you feel like you should have got more for something, or feeling sour that myself or Bees can get twice as much for something, because we don't let it affect us.
We did our time. We
don't let it affect us.
On this app. You're exactly right.
Now, I do have one question, though. How does singing play into this? Because I notice you like to sing a lot, and you know. So how does that work? Because we really want to adopt some of these techniques.
I have social anxiety. That's the only way without.
I love it.
Hiding like a turtle.
It's so cute. It's so freaking
cute. When I said that to you the first time, you're like,
"Do I sing?
I'm singing.
Do I sing?
I'm like, you freaking sing every show. What are you talking about?"
I do it without even realizing. And it's just like, I feel, because it's so quiet. It's like crickets sometimes. It's like people don't always interact, and it's fine. They don't have to. But like, I think sometimes if I get a little silly, that it makes more people receptive to talking to me too. It's like, it's like, we'll start singing, be like, we are family. And then someone's like, I got all my sisters with me.
I love it.
You know,
I love it. It was the best. I was like, you know, so you're like, I sing. I'm like,
or like to the window, to the wall.
All right. So, one thing about you that no one knows. You shared a lot.
Oh my gosh.
One thing about you that no one knows.
Nobody knows?
Yeah.
Like nobody on here, just in general.
Nobody on Whatnot. Not. I mean, that would be a tough ask for everyone.
My hands are sweating right now. This is a scary question.
Oh,
that's
shit.
what nobody knows.
Oh shit.
I'm scared. I'm deathly afraid of escalators. I won't go on them.
We have a lot of things in common.
I literally have to hold her hand every time she gets on and off an escalator.
Girl, I feel like it's gonna suck
36 years I've been doing that.
Yeah.
She's afraid of escalators too. See, it's not just me.
So there's two people in the world.
Yep.
So there's Charm
too.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Olga said it's hard when the chat doesn't respond. I tend to act silly too.
That's what you do, Olga. That's exactly what you do.
Well, Olga, we act silly.
I will take the stairs. I will take the stairs.
I love it. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't love it, but it's interesting that
it's not just me. I mean, I'll go on it, but it takes me some time, and I have to process.
Here's what it looks like.
Yeah,
every time, every freaking time.
I'm like,
it's scary.
And then he has to wait for me to step when I'm ready.
It looks like little scissors.
Yes, and I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna bust my face, and I'm gonna freaking just. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die on the escalator.
And you're gonna get sucked into the escalator.
Oh, someone said they got their shoelace caught on one once. Oh, see? I would. Oh my god, I can't even imagine.
This is real life.
Exactly. So somebody has a good question. What is your thought on dollar starts for new sellers? I'll give you my thought, but let's hear yours first.
Do you have a lot of inventory already?
Ton of inventory, not a little bit of inventory, high cost inventory.
Run it all. Run it all. I understand that you don't make a lot, but a way that you can offset that is two ways. Number one, you can fill, let's pretend this is a flat rate box. You could fill a flat rate box full of stuff, right? And that dollar, you could do progressive piles like I do. You could say, okay, I'm going to drop one thing, two things, however many things in here. We're going to start it at $1. As long as the timer's still going, I'm going to keep piling stuff on there. So guess what? You progressively get to a higher single sale, right?
Right.
So that's one way. So you're getting customers, you're still starting at $1. You're getting customers that are like, damn, this person's cool. They're chill. I'm getting a good value of items for my however much they pay for it. Another thing you can do while still running things at $1 when you're new is number one, you could co-host with someone that's got more people. Mm-hmm. Number two, you can also utilize, which I highly recommend, especially if you have higher end items, utilize the pre-auction tab.
Yeah, pre-bid.
And don't pull it until you get to an amount that you feel comfortable with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, my opinion is I don't know what the whole dollar thing is. I think $3 is because it doesn't really make a difference. 1 or 3.
Yeah.
What you do not want to do is try to start something at $10 or $25. You'll lose your room. You'll lose half of your room right out the gate.
I mean, Nikki, you're a huge buyer on the app all the time.
We do $3 starts, guys.
We're big buyers on the app. If I go into your room, and you could do what you want, not you, but a seller can do what they want. If I go into your room, they're starting stuff at $10. I almost don't care what it is.
Right. Exactly.
Unless it's like Hermes or something crazy.
Well, because
I'm leaving because
it's going to be a slow pace.
Yeah, because it's not
going to be slow. Yeah. It's not going to be
and typically people that do that are like, hey, what do you want me to run next?
Right.
Blah blah blah.
Right.
Yes.
And this defeats the whole auction element of the app. So, and that doesn't mean that anyone should cater to how we buy, but I will probably tell you that most big buyers buy in the same manner for the most part.
Yes.
For the most part. So
yes, and if you're able to, and I don't want to get too deep in the woods, but I do think that Bill and I have seen a difference ever since we do reduced shipping on every single show now. Yes. And now that we know how to do it, where it doesn't cost us a couple $100 every show, once you learn how to do that, as soon as you can, offer reduced shipping. Yeah. Because here's the deal. It's a mental thing too. It's a mental thing, but it is also, so when you go into a room, and as soon as you hit that, you pay maybe by 2 items. As soon as you hit that free shipping after 9/21, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying in the show. Yeah.
Yeah, I would even go as far as saying that now, I asked a question a second ago, based on what you know now, I would say that the biggest element is figure out how to do shipping. And I'm not talking about how to send an item out. I'm talking about the nuances. How to maximize flat rate over 5 pounds, how to maximize 921 shipping, how to set up your shows where you don't have 121 presets like we did in the beginning, a 3-ounce preset, a 6-ounce preset. No, break it down. Because what will happen is if you understand how to use 921, which I will fully admit has only happened with us in the last 6 or 8 months, then where you start items at, to me, are less important than understanding how to not get burnt on shipping.
Right.
Because going back to our interview with Jeremy from Green 13, he sees value in giving people value in shipping, and they bid more.
And I think that we're seeing the same thing.
So if you understand how to not get hurt on the shipping, then I think buyers will see more value and bid up your items is what I'm getting at.
So happy crafting. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you guys. You have just entered the BuzzChat.
So happy crafting?
Yeah, so happy crafting.
So happy. All right.
Thank you so much.
Let's give him a little shout out real quick.
Guys, welcome in. Go ahead and get in that giving.
Any more questions for Nikki? Because she is dropping
put them in the chat. You guys get a lot of knowledge
guys,
today.
when I'm telling you pure fire, in my opinion, this is one of the best fundamental podcasts that we've had.
Sure.
For like, taking freaking notes and getting out and doing it.
Getting into the gritty.
Guys, so happy crafting. Premier shop, 6,000 reviews, 5.0 rating.
She has her rings. Bookmark her shows, guys. Give her a follow and bookmark her shows.
12,000 followers, of course, amazing. Stevie, she likes shoes. She's a high quality fabric sealer. And
oh gosh, we have so much fabric.
She has a show on the 5th.
At 2 in the morning.
And the 6th. And the 9th. What the hell are you doing at 2 a.m.?
You do shows at 2 in the morning? I gotta hear why that is.
Well, it's a safety meeting.
The Deegan safety meeting. Oh, that's interesting.
Bookmarked.
Bookmark.
We're not going to be up so happy, but I'm
bookmarking. We'll try to be up.
No. So happy. I'm not going to be up. I'm telling you right now.
Unless the dog barks and he has to go out.
Oh my gosh.
It'll be up. But thank you so much for that rating, guys.
Yeah, so happy. Thank you. Guys, make sure you give her a follow. Amazing seller. She's got her wings. So much. 5.0 rating. Plenty of items sold. And she runs shows at 2 o'clock in the morning when everybody else is.
I don't even know what that's about.
Although I think I've seen you run a show at like 1 o'clock in the
morning. Yeah, you run some late shows.
Right? You get a little crazy sometimes. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Any more questions for Nikki in the house?
Any more questions, guys?
Dropping knowledge.
The show on the 12th is a big one for her. Lots of giveaways. Oh, perfect. Please bookmark her shows, guys. How do you set up your shipping profile to maximize the 921?
One more question. You want to answer that, Nikki?
Which one? The 921?
It says, how do you set up your shipping profile to maximize 921, and do you use priority boxes?
So it's going to be hard for me to answer the 921 because I'm a little different. I only utilize the 921 if I have light items because most of my shows, maybe y'all could teach me something that I don't know. Most of my shows, I have a variety of items that are big and heavy.
Oh, hold on. You know what it is? It's power. Hold on. Our phone's about to die.
I got 9 left.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, we got just enough time.
Okay. All right, we got just enough time.
Go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
You keep freezing for some reason. I don't know if it's because we're on low power or not.
I don't know. So I don't typically use the 921 because when I do live unboxings or a variety of items, a lot of those are like big and heavy that won't fit in flat rates. I typically do like the 1 weight category, which is the 8 to 11 ounces. And yes, I do use priority boxes if the customer has paid for at least 16 ounces worth of shipping. That's how I do it. But maybe they could answer your question a little bit better as far as like utilizing that 921 to its best.
Yeah, I think we do it very similar. There was a while, Nikki, where we ran everything at 12 to 15 ounces. And the only challenge with that is, and we started doing giveaways.
No, we were doing 8 to 11.
Well, 8 to 11, right?
Yeah.
So the challenge is we wanted to get over a pound. So that we could use the priority box.
Because we got burnt a lot on that.
Yeah, because if you have a show where people if you're doing only 12 to 15, 8 to 11 or 12 to 15.
And they buy one item.
And people are buying 1 item over a pound.
But I mean, it wasn't a big burn.
No, it's not burn.
It's not a big burn, but they add up, right?
There's
so
two things. There's two things. There's only $2 and change to pay for it.
But those add up.
But you can't use a priority box.
Correct. It goes ground.
That's the big thing. So you got to use your own box. So you have to pay for a box or find a box, and then you have to pay for the adjustment.
Right.
So when we do 921, and we talked about this on the last show, over 5 pounds we set to flat rate. And the reason why we do that is because Whatnot does not know what the buyer is buying. They just know that if you come into a show and the seller is running 5 1-pound items, that you could buy 5 items before the 921 resets. It'll reset on the 6th item. Whatnot does not know if all 6 of those items will fit into a flat rate box.
Right.
Right.
So if you do,
they'll keep charging.
They're going to charge you 921.
They're going to keep doing their 5 pounds, and then they're going to start all over again. Like
they're going to charge you 921 after the 5 pounds is up, not knowing whether or not the next 5 items will still fit in that same first box.
Right. That
the buyer already paid 921 for. So that's what 5 pounds over. Setting it to flat rate over 5 pounds does.
It saves you from that.
But we use, for the most part, we do use a ton of USPS boxes.
Yeah.
But we also buy our own boxes. So we try to maximize a flat rate box, medium flat rate, large flat rate, the shoe box, the flat rate top loader. We use a ton of those boxes.
Don't buy boxes. Go to Target and Walmart before they close and let them know, like, to save all the ones from stocking.
Yeah.
You'll get it for free.
We used to do that. In fact, we used to dumpster dive behind Kirkland.
Oh my God.
Bad idea for certain.
Yeah, we used to dumpster dive for.
Oh, I still do.
The Kirklands, Go behind any Kirklands. It is the best place to get packing material.
Or Michaels.
Guys.
Or Michaels.
Yeah, or Michaels. Yeah, and they're right next to each other where we live in the same shopping center, and we used to do that all the time. I think what's happening is our internet went down. So right now we're only on cellular. That's what's happening. Yes.
Our internet
went down.
I don't think so.
It didn't?
Maybe it did, actually.
Yeah, I think it did. We might be back up now at this point. But do you want to stick around for, first of all, I knew it was going to be an awesome chat. I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it was going to be amazing.
Amazing.
I was so excited to have you on. Thank you. The day before 4th of July, you're the one that stepped up and said you do it. So we appreciate you so much for doing it.
Yes.
Because we didn't really want to skip it. We want to try to be as consistent as we can, at least with this.
And with the absolute fire knowledge and information.
Yeah, it's been great. We want to have you on again because it goes by so fast. I mean, look at it right now. It's already 2 hours. Yep. See how fast it goes by? That's what I'm telling you. It goes by so fast.
I have social anxiety.
My hands are still sweating.
You chat more than anyone. So
we love you.
Go for it.
You don't show it. Your hands may be sweating, girlfriend, but you don't show it.
Yeah, whatever.
You're amazing.
So.
You're absolutely amazing. And I don't even know if we ever. Yeah, I think so. We're not gonna do mail time this show, guys. We'll do it next time because I'm pretty sure our internet went out. And let's rate somebody. But thank you so much, guys. If you are not following Limitless, please do.
Guys,
we love you guys.
You are awesome. And hopefully the chat got as much from this as we did. And guys, if you're not watching her shows, if you want to see like amazingness in action, watch her on the regular shows and watch her on the Ray Train where she
watch the Colorado shows. There'll be over 100,000 items.
Shows.
Guys,
absolutely.
Bookmark Limitless and Crafty Fairies. Thanks to everyone.
Look at
that's
Kitty.
In the chat. Guys, happy 4th.
Don't go anywhere. We want to read someone.
Do not blow your hands off with
Jesus Christ.
and fireworks.
Don't go anywhere. Put bumblebees in the chat for us, guys. Let's go raid. I think Abandoned Treasures, who will be our next week's guest host. I think they're on. And if so, let's do it.
Sister.
Love you, Nikki.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.